Today, we are going to be going over some of the Record Store Day 2026 things that I picked up at my local record store. Hopefully you guys had a great record store day. I think that this has probably been maybe not the best record store day, but as far as experience goes, I had a blast. We got up at like 3:30 in the morning. We went to the shop around 4. I think we ended up being about the 130th person in line. So it was brutal. We were very tired, but we stuck it out. We got in by like 10:30 and we got everything that we wanted. So with that being said, let's get right into some of the records. By the way, I'm using my phone as a mic today because I packed up all my mics. I'm currently in the midst of moving, so I didn't have access to any of them, but thankfully I still had my camera out, so at least we can still film. I also want to make a quick note that everything in this pile is not going to be exclusive record store day things. Some of them were just items that I picked up while I was at the store. So the very first thing that I got was Wiz Khalifa's Khalifa album from 2016. This is the first time that it's ever been pressed to vinyl, and I think it's also the first time it's ever been released to any kind of physical album. CDs, cassettes, whatever. This is the first time it's ever been pressed. It is limited to 2,250 copies from the hype sticker here. And this is a record store day first, meaning that they will come back with this at some point in the future that will probably get a more national release. So if you didn't get this, don't worry, it's coming back at some point. I don't know if it's going to be the same exact color, same exact album cover with the sticker and all that, but it's a record store day first, so you never know. We got some really good artists on here. We got people like Rico Love, Travis Scott. We got Ty Dolla $ign, Chevy Woods, Juicy J. A lot of the people that you usually see on Wiz Khalifa albums on this record here. I listened to this record a lot in high school. First time I got my license, I think I was about 16. Yeah, so I was listening to this album front to back all the time. Bake Sale with Travis Scott. That was a great single that came out before it released. I got a lot of these songs in my playlists, so it's a great record. I'm glad I got this. Also, I wanted to show you guys the record color. It comes on this like really cool tan, translucent sort of color. Some of my favorite songs, I like Cowboy, I like Make a Play. Of course, I like Bake Sale because that was a single before it came out. That was a really hot song for a minute there. I like Celebrate, and I also like I Say with Juicy J. The next record that we got is Quentin Tarantino presents RZA's The Man with the Iron Fists. The cool thing about this release is that not only has it been released before and it went out of print, it goes up for a decent chunk of change on Discogs and eBay, but this specific pressing right here was limited to, I believe, 4,000 copies nationwide and 2,000 in the US. So I got number 471 out of 4,000. So they are hand drawn on there in marker, which is pretty cool. I like when they do that because it just kind of adds to the, collector value of it, I guess. It also comes with a really cool Obi strip on the side there that has all the, details of the manufacturer, the double LP audiophile pressing, 140 gram. The thing that's really unique about this specific pressing for Record Store Day is that, like I mentioned before, the 1-to-1 cover literally means there's only one of each cover. Every single cover is different. It's essentially the same artwork on the front, but in this background top up here, it's a different color. It has different artwork, and it also has different color down here around the blood near the fists. All the records come in different colors too. I've talked with a couple people online who also got a copy. Some of them have pink ones, some of them have yellow ones, some of them have blue. This one that I have right here comes in a really cool, like an orange marble type of effect. And the other one's sort of like a reddish, like pomegranate kind of color. Here's that red one I was talking about. This is side A and B. Sort of like an opaque color. You can't really see through it. And then here's that orange one with the swirl in it. Sort of like a swirl marble effect. I'm not really sure, but it's pretty cool. I'm sure that some of the record colors are the same, but as far as the cover goes, there's only one made of each. So like I said before, this is a various artist soundtrack that comes from RZA's movie. We got people like the Black Keys, of course, RZA himself, Ghostface Killah, Kanye West. We got Wu-Tang Clan on here, Corinne Bailey Rae, Revelations, Trey Williams. I mean, the list goes on. We just got so many different producers and artists and singers, rappers. It's just such a fun soundtrack to listen to. Next up, we have our first 45 that I picked up from Record Store Day. This is Deb Never, her single Hello and Radio Alice. This, I believe, was limited to about 1,200 units, I think. This is an artist that I saw live. They're a small band. They were touring with a artist named Keshi at the time for his Hell and Back tour, and I didn't know that they were opening for them. I had no idea who any of these people were. I just went with my girlfriend, and they performed live. They performed a lot of their older stuff, some of their newer stuff, and yeah, they're just like this really tame, like indie pop alt rock sort of thing. They got some soft stuff coming up too, and some of these songs right here I think are a little softer than some of their older stuff, but I highly recommend you guys check out these guys. It has 2 songs on it, Hello and Radio Alice, and it comes on this really cool like translucent smoky swirl kind of color. I didn't know that it was colored, so that was a really nice surprise when I opened it. It also comes with a signed art card from Deb Never herself, and it's also a limited press, and it has this stamp on the back that shows you which number you get. I got number 366. It might be a little hard to see from this shot right here, but this is the vinyl itself. When you look at it in the light, it looks really cool. I'm very excited for their upcoming album, Arcade, which comes out in May, I believe. So these songs haven't been released on streaming yet. I'm sure they will at some point, but knowing that I can listen to these right now for something that's not even on streaming services is really cool. Okay, and for our first outside of Record Store Day exclusive, we have Madlib and Freddie Gibbs' Pinata. This is not a Record Store Day exclusive for 2026. However, it was released in 2024. I believe like 1 to 2,000 of these were made, something like that, maybe a little higher. As you guys know, Freddie Gibbs' Pinata, this album has been released like literally almost every single Record Store Day for like 3 or 4 years. They had like different eras of it. Like I think they had like a 70s version, an 80s, and a 90s. They also have this version right here. I think they're just alternate covers and special colored pressings of the record themselves that make them so unique, but it's essentially the same exact album. Nothing different about it, nothing added or changed. I was actually standing in line checking out, getting ready to leave when I saw this, and I was like, I gotta pick that up. I actually used to have the Pinata 84 version. I did end up selling it a while back just because I was getting rid of some vinyl, but I'm glad I'm reunited with it now. It's on this really cool green, white, and black splatter across the clear background. This is gonna look dope on the turntable. I haven't listened to it yet, but I've listened to this album enough to know that it's pretty much a skipless record. I love listening to this record. The production value on it's insane. Freddie Gibbs, of course, always coming in with some crazy bars. I'm gonna go ahead and say that my favorite songs off of here is Everything. No, but seriously, I really like Thuggin', I like Uno, I like Nyx, Scarface is dope. I think this is probably one of Freddie Gibbs' best records. The next one we have is actually a really fun album. This is Malibu by Anderson .Paak. Once again, not a Record Store Day exclusive, but it just so happened to release the day before Record Store Day. There's a bunch of different anniversary editions that you can get, and as a matter of fact, they actually did release a really cool 7-inch box set that comes in this like cooler pack for a Record Store Day. If you wanted to get that, it's like $150, so it's really expensive, but I thought it'd probably be a little easier just to listen to this album front to back with 2 records as opposed to a bunch of 45s. So it's a cool collector's item, but I decided to go with this version instead. I believe they released a couple different color variants for this. I believe they also had one that was like a liquid filled and sand filled. That was really cool. They also had a zoetrope version, and they of course have the standard version, I guess, which is just colored vinyl. This is a really cool opening experience on the gatefold because everything pops up like a 3D art card. I don't think I've ever seen a record have this. I'm sure they've been made before, but I love when artists do little specialty packaging like this. It just makes for a really fun experience when listening to vinyl. As for the color themselves, they come in this really dope bright orange with like this sort of sage or seafoam green and brown, which represents the album cover art really well. Each side is very unique and different, so every time you flip over a record or put the other disc on, I didn't really know about this album's existence, to be honest, and let alone who Anderson .Paak was, because I had heard him a lot in features from other artists like Schoolboy Q. I'd never listened to his actual stuff like on its own. This is probably one of the best sort of R&B records that I've ever listened to. I could listen to this front to back, and every single song is dope. I'm so mad at myself for not hearing this earlier, but that's the beauty of music, man. Rediscovering stuff from time to time is dope, and it led me to listen to even more of his records. So I think my favorite songs that I've been listening to recently is Am I Wrong with Schoolboy Q. I like The Waters with BJ the Chicago Kid, and The Dreamer, which is the last track on the album. Next up is an older Record Store Day exclusive, back all the way from 2013. This is the 7-inch single from Chuck English. This specific single is called Convertibles featuring Action Bronson. Sort of went back in time a little bit, but I got this at the store. It was like $10. I couldn't believe it. It was still sealed and everything. And I didn't even know about this existence. I love Chuck English. I love the song with Mac Miller that he did for this mixtape here. But when I found out that he pressed a bunch of these with different singles and they come on different colors, I was like, I gotta get one of these. So for starters, it comes on a yellow record, which happens to be my favorite color. So it's a cool song, Action Bronson. This has the featured song on the front, and on the back it has the instrumental if you just want to listen to the beat. It also comes with the full-length CD of the entire mixtape itself. So inside of the jacket, you get the CD. You just don't see this kind of Record Store Day stuff anymore. They just include like a single or two with a 45 for $15, and then that's it. But it was really cool getting the entire CD, and every single version that he released of his singles for Record Store Day came with the CD, so that was really cool. Speaking of Action Bronson, another LP I just picked up is Only for Dolphins. Recently in his catalog, he's sort of including like an animal theme in a lot of his records, where he's putting in sound effects and painting things. He paints all these covers himself. This one doesn't have any sort of special color or anything like that. It's just on standard black vinyl, but it does have a really cool gatefold, which you open and it has the entire track list on the inside. Also comes with a printed inner sleeve here, pictured. Just has like some colored art on the front, and then it has a track list on the back, along with all the lyrics. He also just announced his newest album coming out soon called Planet of the Frogs. I don't know when this is coming out. I'm assuming probably going to be more of like a summer release, hopefully, but he announced it. He shared the cover art for it. Looking forward to that album, so I'm sure that'll probably be in a future video. Oh, I forgot to mention my favorite songs on here. 12H16N2. That's a good one. Latin Grammys and Goldeneye. Goldeneye is probably my favorite. As a little added bonus, that's pretty much everything that I got, but my girlfriend also came with me and she got a couple things that was included in the Record Store Day 2026 list, so I wanted to go ahead and just share those just because we're on the topic. So she got this record, which is by a person named Ruel. It's called Hate Myself. And it's kind of a cool cover art, actually. It's him looking through a peephole there on the front, and on the back it shows the other side of the peephole along with the track list. So I believe this is more of like an EP because there's only 4, 5, 6 songs on this. Opening it up, looking at the record, it comes on a white pressing. My girlfriend told me that this is actually an album that isn't on streaming either. So I love when record stores do that because it really not only supports them, it also supports the artists, it supports physical media. Going out and buying these, you can only listen to it on here. I think that's pretty cool. In an age where we are just so accustomed to everything being digital and you can just look it up on streaming, I think having a physical version of like an album or an EP like this is just a more sort of intimate way to experience the music. You know, you listen to it front to back, you're more involved with it. So, and apparently it's pretty good. I haven't listened to it myself, but my girlfriend said that she really likes it. Last but not least, this is, what's it called? Zerobaseone. That's right. This is I believe this is a K-pop group. Don't know much about them either as well, but I figured I'd include it just to show you guys what it looks like. It comes packaged in this really nice like baby blue color. And on the inside here, it's a nice gatefold that has some pictures of the artist members, I'm pretty sure. So nice little artwork gatefold on the inside. I always love a good gatefold. On the back, it's got some like clouds. And I gotta admit, the record color is really cool. It's like a marbly swirl kind of effect with like dark blues and white mixed in, so it complements the cover very well. Looks like you also get this little fold out insert. It's got some track lists. It also came with, I think, 9 trading cards of all the members. That's a big thing in K-pop. I don't know. My girlfriend's really into it. So that pretty much wraps up everything that I got. I kind of balled out a little bit, but you know, it was worth it. I love buying records, man. I enjoy physical media, man. I will never stop loving physical media. I love Record Store Day. I will say the only thing that I noticed this year versus others is that the prices were pretty insane. If you guys went out and bought some records, you probably noticed that too. So that was, you know, all the economics behind it. It's just, it is what it is. It's a one-time thing a year, aside from Black Friday, of course. They do a Record Store Day, which is a little bit smaller, but the official Record Store Day itself, I love going out and supporting my local record stores. I try to go to as many as I can. I only went to one this year because I had waited in line for so long. Like I said in the beginning, I had a great Record Store Day. I wouldn't say this is like my favorite haul ever or anything like that. It's a great haul, don't get me wrong. Hopefully you guys had a great Record Store Day as well. If you participated this year, let me know what you guys got in the comments down below. If you have any thoughts or opinions on these albums, I'd love to talk with you about them. So feel free to leave a comment. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys had a great Record Store Day. Once again, peace.